Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview. I'm Mark, and today we're taking a look at Blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg is brought to you by PSC Games. It's for 2 players, ages 14 and up, and games range anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes. Blitzkrieg is set in World War II, where you will take on the roles of the Axis and the Allies. You'll be battling it out over the different theaters to gain control during the conflict. Now, this game does not have dice. You're going to be pulling tokens from bags and rallying your troops to go after the different types of campaigns that you need to bring victory to your side. Now, setup is pretty quick and straightforward for this one. You're going to take your red cubes and place them in the middle of each of the battle tracks. And you'll take the other cubes for the war victory track and place them next to the board. Each player is going to receive their own set of tokens and put them in their bag for the Axis and the Allies. And then you have a special set of weapon tokens. You're going to place those face down on the table for easy access. Each player also receives a screen and you're ready to go. Now, before we jump into gameplay, let's take a quick look at this map because there's some things of note here. You know, you have your battle track, which is kind of the tug of war you're going to be playing throughout the game, trying to get those victory points. Below that, you're going to have 2 to 3 campaigns for that specific theater. And those icons in the campaign have different colors, brown and blue, designating if you can have land versus troop versus air in those areas. And then there's icons on there, in some of those squares, I should say, that give you special abilities and special things when you activate them. On the far side of each of the campaigns is the victory point tally that you'll be putting up here. 25 is the number you're looking for the overall victory points. Now, at the start of the game, each player is going to draw 3 tokens randomly from their bag and place them face up behind their screen. This is known as your reserve. This is what you'll be tapping into to play out on the board. Now, each turn is divided into 4 phases, and the first thing you're going to do in your turn is grab a token from your reserve and place it into one of the theaters of operation, looking for that topmost available campaign within that theater. Now, when you place those tokens, again, you have to be mindful about what type of troop you're placing there. Is it ground forces, is it air, or is it water? Again, you have the colors, the brown and the blue dictate what type can go there. Now, there's also icons out there that do all kinds of different things when you place the token on the square. There's things that give you special weapons that you put in your bag. You're going to get more resources or more tokens from your bag to put in your reserve. And there's all kinds of things like bombing your opponent, as well as getting more victory points on the main victory point track. Now, after you place your token in a spot, then you start to move this battle track. And, you know, some of the icons will allow you to move the battle track, but the number on your token will move your battle track in your direction. So a little bit closer look at this battle track. As you put tokens out and have that tug of war back and forth, moving the red cube towards your side for victory, you'll see that there's victory points along here. And as you hit those spots, you're going to get victory points on the main victory point track. So those are areas you definitely want to hit, as well as combining with victory points out in the campaigns. It can really net you a lot of points quickly. So as you complete a campaign by placing tokens, then victory points are going to be awarded. And there are victory points that can be had within the campaign, but when it's complete, there are victory points on the side, and those are awarded when that campaign is finished. But it all is dependent on this battle track. Whoever has control of the theater at that time will get those victory points. So there's a lot of decisions to be made here, and timing to be very aware of. And a final note on these battle tracks. If you have to move the cube to your specific icon, Axis or Allies, you're going to win that theater automatically. And you have dominated, basically. So if there are any campaigns that haven't finished yet, then you still get to activate all those icons within the campaign and get all the benefits. And so that encompasses the first 3 things you'll do in your turn. Again, you'll be placing the token out into a theater of operation onto a campaign. You'll then activate that icon and then move the cube on the battle track. And those are really the first 3 things you're doing. And then, lastly on your turn, you will reach into your bag and grab a new token randomly to put behind your screen to add to your reserve. All right, let's take a little bit closer look at this battle space effects. And again, these are the icons that you'll be placing your tokens on. And the reference guide on the back of the rulebook is really handy to keep nearby at all times. So you're going to be doing things like pulling additional resources or additional tokens from your bag to put in your reserve. Also, there's special weapons you're going to be tapping into. And you could be bombing your opponent, like I said earlier. But there's also things like tactical advantage that allows you to move the battle track up however many spaces it calls for. And then there's strategic advantage, which allows you to move the battle track on a different theater of operation, not the one you're currently on. And there's all kinds of different things like propaganda that just gives you victory points. So this reference guide really helps throughout the game. Now your unit tokens that you have in your reserve are your armies, your navy, and your air force, but you have a couple extra special ones. You have generals and admirals. Generals allow you to basically really affect a theater of operation. So if you have armies that are already deployed there, you're going to add +1 to the battle track for every army you have there. And same with the admirals. For the navy, it's the same kind of thing. So you're going to again move that battle track +1 for every navy unit you have placed in that theater. So they have a lot of different powers here. So those tokens can really make a difference based on what you're playing. And again, there's a lot of decisions there to be made. All right, so let's now take a quick brief look at these special weapon tokens because they can be real game changers. You've got elite forces here. You've got scientists, you have spies, you even have a nuclear bomb, and they're going to do really enhanced things to that theater of operations, to that campaign that you're using them in. And so the game comes to an end when one player reaches 25 or more on the war victory track. Now, there's a couple stipulations here. If you're the Axis player and you hit 25 or more, then the allies get one more turn. However, if the allies hit 25 or more, they just win the game. But if there's ties at 25 or more, then the allies win as well. However, if you go to your reserve and you have no reserve left because you've been bombed out of existence, then you lose the game. Or if you do have reserve and you just can't place tokens anywhere, then you also lose the game. All right, folks, just a reminder once again, this has been a Dice Tower paid preview, and everything you've seen here has been in prototype form. So keep a close eye on the campaign for any changes that still may occur. Now, with that said, this is a light but full of strategy war game that's super accessible. And there's some really interesting choices to be made here. But ultimately, folks, if this looks like a game that would be of interest to you, I'm sure they'd appreciate your support. So I think that's it from me, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching the Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.